Vikings Now is an interactive YouTube channel built for you guys. So what I want you to do before I get into today's show is go down in the comments section, because we're going to do a mailbag, and I want you to put some trade ideas down there in the comments to be featured on an upcoming video. Vikings Minicamp winners and losers coming up here on today's show. But before I get into that, we are presented by Aura. And I'll tell you what, guys, identity theft, identity fraud should definitely be paid attention to. Every single 14 seconds, somebody's identity is stolen. Don't be the next one. Head on over to aura.com/chatsports for a free 14-day trial. So today, I'm going to be breaking down 5 winners, 3 losers, feeling a little bit nice today, around the biggest winners and losers for Vikings Minicamp. Only 2 practices. We will start with the winners first, and then we will head on over to the losers. But if you're a diehard fan, if you clap, you scream SKOL, you're excited for the season, then spam SKOL down in those comments right now. I want you to fill it up with trades, fill it up with SKOLs. Let's get this thing going. Let's get into some of these Minicamp winners. Garrett Bradbury, which I actually think should bring a pretty big smile to a lot of the fans that come across this show, because so far he continues to get all of the center reps with the first team. One of the biggest question marks entering this offseason for Minnesota was who's going to be the guy that hands the ball off to Kirk Cousins. When you run the football with the way that they want to with Madison and Dalvin Cook, they want to be physical. They want to be able to pound the rock up the middle, long extended runs. You need to have a halfway decent and a reliable center. That's where Garrett Bradbury is coming in here. So he may live to start another year, which is kind of a crazy thing, right? I mean, all offseason we've been like, well, Bradbury could be on the way out. I don't know if it makes sense to keep him there. Maybe Ed Ingram could be somebody that they decide to put at center. There's a lot of different rumors around him, but the fact that he's getting all the snaps at center, yeah, that makes him a winner. Here's what offensive line coach Chris Cooper had to say on Garrett Bradbury. They're all pushing each other. Garrett's taken every rep with the ones. He's been doing a great job. Those things get sorted out when get pads on in camp. And I agree. I mean, this is definitely the time of the year where you want to see a lot more good. And for the most part, you see a lot more encouraging things that come out of the mouths of coaches. And you need Bradbury to absolutely step up for your team if you want to take that next step and have a chance to win this division. So should Bradbury be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings at the center position? I know the big guys, it's not a sexy position, but it's a very important one, and especially for the Vikings, because I believe that their battles are going to be won on the trenches this year. So why for yes and for no should Bradbury be the starter for the Vikings? The next name as a minicamp winner is Jesse Davis. And Davis spent last season with the Miami Dolphins, and even though the Dolphins had the worst offensive line in all of football last year, I could confidently sit up here and say that I thought Davis was the best dude on that team, which, sure, maybe isn't saying a lot, but he does bring a little bit of versatility. He's played left guard. He's played center, actually, for the Dolphins. He played right guard as well, but he's been getting reps at right guard with the first team. So he's taking advantage of a situation here where I don't know if he actually thought he was going to start. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't, but he is taking advantage of what you're seeing now. So the fact that Davis is really grabbing a hold of this guard position, he could find himself being a starter in the upcoming season. So I know we're talking about a new sponsor, and I'm really excited about Aura, and I think you guys should be too. And if you're like, all right, Mitch, well, take it slow. What are some of the benefits that Aura does, and why are you so excited about it? Financial fraud protection. Do you work hard for your money? Even if you answer no to that question, I'm sure you still want to hang on to it. Identity theft protection, online and device security, family plans to protect up to 5 people. How do you start our 14-day free trial? It's simple. Go to aura.com/chatsports. That link is going to be available for you all in the comments and in the description of today's video. Today's major topic is why I want you to do it is identity theft. Man, it is a big-time thing. Listen to this number here. In 2020, 49 million Americans were victims of identity theft, costing them a combined, you ready? You ready? $56 billion. That's a lot of money. Don't be the next person that gets their identity stolen. Aura.com/chatsports. Even if you think that you would never fall for a scam, I always like to say we all have that Aunt Betty that's not afraid to click on a link because she just wants a free trip to the Bahamas. Yeah, they can get you in different ways. Aura's here to make sure you're protected. Let's go to the next name here. It's Adam Thielen, and this man, even though he's 34 years old, he's been an underdog his entire career, and the concentration is always on Justin Jefferson, and it's been on some other flashy receivers like a KJ Osborne as well. But Thielen continues to just make plays, and I got a really, really cool picture here of Thielen making a one-handed catch in the end zone up against I actually feel bad for the defender. He has good coverage on Thielen. Thielen's just a better route runner, better being able to go up and get the football here. And when you talk about how can this team continue to be legitimate, how can they get better? Yes, the young receivers in the room, everyone watching the show knows that there's talent there, but you need to have some legitimacy. And for Kirk Cousins, he looks for Adam Thielen. Whether it's first down, whether it's second down, whether it's third and goal, whatever the hell it may be, Thielen steps up, and especially he's always been clutch in the red zone. I'll always say Father Time is undefeated. And this receiver corps, it's nasty. It's fun to watch. They got a lot of fun and exciting players, but the fact that Thielen, at the age of 35, I still think Jefferson's going to be your number one dude, but Thielen, for a solid number two guy, get 80 catches, over 1,000 yards, probably going to get double-digit touchdowns. To me, people are forgetting about him. I'm going to make him a winner here on the show. Now, if you're counting at home with me, I still got 2 more winners to go, but I want you to guys go down in the comments, name a Vikings minicamp winner, and if you're like, well, I haven't seen a lot of information out there, we got you covered. That's why we made this video. So name a Vikings minicamp winner. Next name coming up here is around Bisi Johnson. And Johnson, I would say, is probably the 4th receiver if everyone is healthy. And you're going to see one of the reasons why I got Bisi on here is just a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries that happened early on for Minnesota already. And if the season were to start today, he would be the wide receiver 3 for the Vikings. And his career stats in 2 seasons, 45 catches, 483 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, I would like for him to be able to stretch the field a little bit more, but here's your opportunity to impress your new coaches. Here's your time to impress your new head coach. And the fact that he is getting these reps, the fact that he is being able to go out there and showcase some talent, he's got the size. It absolutely makes him a winner. So what do you think here, y'all? Type S for start or type B for bench. Is Johnson a starting caliber wide receiver? You can look at it from an NFL landscape, like a top 3 dude, or if you just think of it from this team standpoint, get that out quick. S for start, B for bench. Next name is Ty Chandler, the running back out of North Carolina, and 5th round pick here. One of my favorite things about Chandler was he can pass block, and you have Dalvin Cook, you got, Madison there as well. That's arguably the best RB2 punch in the league, depending on what the Browns decide to do with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. A lot of talent there. If Chandler wants to be able to find a way on the field, he needs to be able to step up in these 2-minute warning situations where they're going to go out of shotgun. Dalvin needs a little bit of a rest. Madison's not the best ball catcher. So now you have an opportunity for Chandler, who's absolutely battling for a spot on this roster, and it sounds like he's been looking pretty good. So if you guys are diehard Vikings fans, videos every day, or soon to be every day, news, rumors, we keep you up to date. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications because I promise you, this channel is growing, and the more it grows, the more videos you get, and I don't want you to miss anything the whole off season. Hell, we talked about the winners, and this is always the part of the video where I know the DMs get filled up and call me a loser. So how about this? We're going to say minicamp losers so far are all the wide receivers that are just battling some injuries here. I remember doing a story on the Vikings last season on Ihmir Smith-Marsette because this dude coming out of Iowa, big, long, lanky, he's athletic as well. And his career last season, he had 5 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is an average of 23.2 yards per catch. The fact that he's dealing with a lower leg injury, which you can see in this picture here, walking around in a boot, that is opening up the door for players like Bisi Johnson, who's a winner. Not that Adam Thielen doesn't need to prove it, what he is already. You guys know what he is. But for somebody who's 5th, 6th receiver on the team who has that upside, you have to consider this a little bit of a loss here. So what is your level of concern on some of the wide receivers' injuries that have already popped up? And go ahead, scale it for me. 1 to 10. 1 being it's June. I almost said it's May. It's June. Don't panic. 10 being these are really starting to rack up and make me want to pull my hair out. Let's go to the next name here as a minicamp loser, and you're going to see a trend. If you can't practice at minicamp, that puts you behind the 8 ball. And it's the way it is. The NFL is competitive. The world is competitive. And if you're not able to go out and compete for your position, that makes you a loser. So Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback out of Clemson, loved his ability coming out of the draft. He was my number 3 overall corner. He only gave up 1 catch this entire college football season, over 20 yards. And if he's 100% healthy, I think he's better than Cam Dancer. I'd put him right next to Patrick Peterson. He's just not ready to go yet because he had surgery back in March on that core injury. And for Booth, this is one guy that I'm not going to panic on. I've watched the tape. I believe that the Vikings know that he's a talented player. They drafted him where they did because they not only need him, they want him to step up, and they want him to be that guy next to Patrick Peterson, or they want him to learn behind Patrick Pete. And so that way when Peterson decides to move on, whenever that is, you have a young corner. I believe Booth is going to be a cornerback 1 in the NFL someday. It's just not right now, so don't totally hit the panic button. The final name for my Vikings minicamp losers, Wyatt Davis. And some of the reasons that I mentioned in terms of why I thought Jesse Davis was a winner is because he was taking advantage of his opportunity. Davis right now is getting work at left guard. However, with Ed Ingram, Ed Ingram, who they drafted, I believe, 59 overall in the second round, he's going to be the better option. They want Ingram to be the dude who goes ahead, steps forward here, coming out of LSU, and I just think he's a more talented player. I really do. So Davis getting some work, going to end up falling behind Ingram overall, but could maybe Ingram end up taking another role down the line? Yes. You're going to see a lot of different moving pieces with this Minnesota Vikings offensive line. So we talked about winners. It's time now to give me a loser, and I'm sure I missed some names. That's how these things always go. So name a Vikings minicamp loser if you didn't like my list that I put out.